Hello there everyone. Today's video, very festive topic, seeing as how we're just about at Christmas. It's all about marshmallows and particularly the VAT thereon. Everyone's favourite tax, VAT. So what's happened on this? Well, this is all about the VAT treatment. Was it confectionery or wasn't it confectionery? Because the rules say that if something is confectionery in the VAT world, standard rated, you've got to charge 20% VAT if you're selling confectionery. But if you're selling cakes and biscuits, zero rated. That is food, not confectionery. So if you're selling this stuff, you add on 0% VAT, but because it's zero rated, you can claim all the VAT back on your costs of selling the food stuff. So if you're in the business of selling all this kind of thing, you'd want it to be zero rated rather than standard rated, because you don't have to pass it on to the consumer. You can keep your margins higher by not having to charge VAT. So what have we got here? Oh, but there's always caveats to the general rules in the VAT world. It's never that easy. So cakes and biscuits, like I've just said, zero rated unless the biscuit is covered with chocolate. And if the biscuit is covered with chocolate, then it's standard rated. Okay? So, famous case on that, of course, was the Jaffa Cakes case, going back 30 years. We examined this point. So there's the rule. So, this particular case we're going to look at today, which has just been heard in the tribunals, concerns the sale of what we call mega marshmallows. So, great big marshmallows, not just your small little marshmallows, but mega marshmallows. And this American firm started out over there, came to the UK, started selling these mega marshmallows. And for 5 years, between 2014 and 2019, they sold them thinking that they were basically zero rated. That these things were not confectionery. These mega marshmallows were not confectionery. So they charged no VAT, it was zero rated. And basically HMRC said, no, we don't agree with you. We think that your mega marshmallows are actually confectionery and we'd like £500,000 of VAT from you, thank you very much. So £500,000 of VAT at stake over 5 years. The thing went to court. Now, so we started looking at the definitions then when things get to court. Now, there is actually no statutory definition of what confectionery is in the VAT law. There's just documentation as to what it includes. So basically the VAT law says confectionery includes chocolates, sweets, sweetened prepared food, and things that are normally eaten with the fingers. So that's what confectionery is. Remember, there's no hard and fast statutory definition, although it does say the words it includes the following and gives these examples. Okay, so we turn up to the tribunal and the marshmallow people say, listen, this isn't confectionery, we charge 0% VAT. HMRC say should have charged 20. So what did the tribunal say? Well, this is what the company argued. First of all, before we get to the tribunal decision, the company argued this. They said, look, these things are eaten with a stick. These great big marshmallows, you put them on a stick. It's not finger stuff. It's not finger food stuff. That, you put them on a stick, right? So it's not finger. It's not like a little bit of a chocolate or something that you eat with your fingers. That's the first thing, because that was obviously one of in the VAT rules, normally eaten with fingers. So first of all, company argued, these things aren't. You put them on a stick. Next thing, there's further processes. You don't just, even if you've got a stick, you don't just eat them from the stick. You have to roast these things, roasted marshmallows. So there is a further process. And the company then argued and said, look, not only is there a further process, these things aren't even displayed in the confectionery part of supermarkets. These things are in the barbecue section. Right? So they're not put in with everything else that's confectionery. So they listed off these arguments and they said that's why we think that our mega marshmallows are not confectionery, and so we are correct in charging 0% VAT. Now the tribunal sided with the taxpayer. The tribunal kicked out HMRC's arguments and basically said, yes, they buy into all of this stuff here, the arguments of the taxpayer, and they are correct in that their mega marshmallows are not confectionery. And so they let them keep the get away with not being hit for £500,000 of VAT. So, VAT and food stuff, very complicated. It has been for the last 50 years since VAT came into the UK, particularly around cold food versus takeaway food, things like this, confectionery, chocolates. It's just a bit of a minefield. Now, is now not the time? Surely, now that we're out of the EU, where, strictly speaking, we don't even need to charge VAT anymore. Remember, it was one of the conditions for joining the EU, 1973, but the government's not going to all of a sudden not start having VAT in the UK taxes. It's not going to withdraw VAT because it brings in about 120, 130 billion pounds a year into the Treasury's coffers. But they're certainly free to choose now what type of VAT changes we can make, because in the past, any changes to the VAT law, we had to go to Europe and say, this is what we're doing, can we please do this? Now we're out of Europe, we don't. We still keep VAT, so it brings in too much money, but we're certainly free to tweak it around the edges, do whatever we want with it. So it's now not the time for the government to say, look, let's get rid of this nonsense once and for all and just say one particular rate for food, zero for everything, or whatever. You know, we've got the freedom now that we're out of Europe to do that. Now, let me give you some other crazy examples, because this is only one thing. Let's have a look at some more. Pringles. So Pringles, are they zero rated, standard rated? Well, they're zero rated because potato flour is the main ingredient. That's a foodstuff, zero rated. But Doritos, they're standard rated because ground corn is the main ingredient, not potato flour. So Pringles zero rated, Doritos standard rated. You think they're pretty much the same sort of thing, but oh no, not as far as the Vatman is concerned. Nesquik, this is a great one. So Nestle went to court to the VAT tribunal about 5 years ago, and basically what happened, what was decided was that strawberry and vanilla flavour Nesquik standard rated for VAT. So Nesquik have to add VAT onto that, or whoever's selling it, the retailer, has to add VAT onto strawberry and vanilla milkshake. But chocolate milkshake, zero rated. So go figure, you've got different types of flavour of the same product having different VAT treatments. It's absolutely ridiculous. And even that is counterintuitive, because you might say, hang on a minute, Simon, you've just been talking about how, broadly speaking, you add on a bit of chocolate, turns it from zero rated to standard rated. This is the other way around here. With the Nesquik guys, the chocolate bit was zero rated and the other stuff was standard. But it all boiled down to the fact that the chocolate flavoured Nesquik fundamental ingredient was cocoa, which is a foodstuff, hence the zero rated. I mean, you know, it's just mind-blowing. And Nestle lost £4 million at the VAT tribunal on this point, just over the fact that strawberry and vanilla Nesquik milkshakes treated differently to their chocolate one. Unbelievable. So, finally, again, come back to the festive theme. Gingerbread men, we all like to bite into those at Christmas. So, if you're selling gingerbread men and you want your zero rating, make sure you have no more than 2 chocolate dots for eyes, because if you all of a sudden put on a chocolate button or a chocolate belt that turns the gingerbread man from zero rated to standard rated, and you've got to add on 20% VAT. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So just an overview there on some of the absurdities in the VAT law, particularly around foodstuffs and confectionery. What is confectionery? What is not? I hope you liked this video. If you did, please do subscribe if you haven't already done so. I will see you very soon, but please do have a very Merry Christmas and all the best. Bye-bye.